Now, the first 7 jurors have been seated in former President Donald Trump's criminal case here in New York City. 5 additional jurors and 6 alternates still need to be selected. The former president is charged with falsification of business records related to a hush money payment which was made to cover up his alleged affair with adult film actor Stormy Daniels. He denies those allegations. CBS News campaign reporter and attorney Katrina Kaufman is here with me in Studio 57 with more on the trial. I affectionately call you my courtroom buddy because we cover so many cases, and it's great to have you here to tell us what you're witnessing and experiencing inside. 7 jurors, as I mentioned, were seated. We're more than halfway there. Talk to me about the process you're witnessing and if any of it is a surprise to you.
It is definitely surprising how quickly this is moving. So basically on Monday, the judge brought in 96 potential jurors. And in this case, this is unusual. If they feel that they can't be fair and impartial, he's just letting them leave, no further questioning. And
the jurors themselves.
The jurors themselves. And when he asked the room if they felt they could be fair and impartial, over half the room left immediately.
Wow.
So right off the bat, it seemed like Trump's claim that it might be hard for him to find a fair jury in New York might have some truthfulness to it. But already by the end of yesterday, we had 7 jurors. So far, we have 3 young women and 4 men. We have the foreman. He is an Irishman. One of the men said that he finds Trump fascinating and mysterious. Another one said that he was a fan of The Apprentice. And then there's a young Black woman who's a teacher in Harlem and said that she likes how President Trump speaks his mind. So he actually seems to have some people that he might be fond of on this jury so far.
And as much as former President Trump will ridicule the process and say he's a victim in some way, his legal team can also dismiss jurors, as can the other side.
Absolutely. Each side has what's called peremptory challenges, 10 of them, and for-cause challenges. So the peremptory ones are, they can really dismiss them for any reason as long as it's not discriminatory based on, race, gender, that sort of thing. For cause, they have to really prove it before the judge. And there were a few jurors where they brought them in because they had vetted their social posts. They get their identities, even though it's going to be an anonymous jury for the public. And they felt like some of the things they saw online didn't align with the questioning that they had heard in the courtroom earlier. And they presented those issues to the judge. A couple he agreed with, some he did not.
And just to put that in context, that means former President Donald Trump was seated in the courtroom as memes and social media posts about him, some mocking him, were being read aloud.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, too, because during this, after one of the jurors or potential jurors left, the judge actually said to Todd Blanche, Trump's attorney, that he heard Trump speaking audibly about 12 feet away from the juror. And he said, "I'm not going to tolerate this in my courtroom. You have to talk to your client."
And you'll remember the same exact thing happened during the E. Jean Carroll trial when he was in the courtroom. I want to quickly get this question into you before we go. The former president left court. He went to a bodega where a crime had taken place.
Yes.
And is using this as part of his campaign stump speech spot. How noteworthy is that?
This was his first campaign stop since the trial started. And as you mentioned, a crime had taken place there, and DA Alvin Bragg had initially prosecuted this clerk who worked there and later dropped the charges. But it was basically Trump did this as a negative stop against the DA who's prosecuting him in the case, but also because it's a local stop in New York where he can promote his law and order agenda. And I think we're going to see more stops like this because he has to be in court 4 days a week. He can't venture that far on those days. Wednesdays and the weekends, that's when he can really campaign. But also, we should remember that the court is the campaign now, too. There's a ton of media attention there. He's going to be utilizing that, talking outside of the courtroom, holding press conferences, and we'll see if that's a positive or a negative thing for him as this very salacious story comes out in this trial.
It's remarkable to think that in a single day, the former president is in courtroom as mean tweets and memes are being read about him, and then he goes to this bodega where people are cheering his name and supporting him. Much more ahead on this front. Katrina Kaufman, great to have you here to talk about it.
Thanks for having me, Errol.